Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Power of Music podcast. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Courtney. Thank you for tuning in. And yes, today we are going to be breaking down The Gambler by Kenny Rogers, is who made it famous. So I'm going to hand it over to Ricardo. Let's get started. I'm excited.
Okay, Courtney. So let me tell you, the year was 1980 or 1981, right? And I had just got here from Mexico. We flew over with visas and everything, right? But I didn't speak a lick of English. No English here. And we stayed with some family when we got here to San Antonio, and then we had to make our way up to East Texas, Longview to be specific. That's a whole other story. But why Longview? There's a story.
We'll
Either
get to
way,
it someday.
so we made our way up to Longview, and on the way here, we rode with someone, right? We got a ride with someone from San Antonio to Longview, and on the way up to Longview, they had an 8 track, and they had the Kenny Rogers album that this song was on. And when I heard it, I was like, "What?" Mind you, I hadn't really heard very many songs at this point, right?
Mm.
But I heard The Gambler, and I was like, "What?" And then I just played it over and over and over and over again for the duration of the ride, to the point to where the person driving was kind of upset, and they threw the tape out the window.
Oh, that's extreme.
The 8 track tape. They threw the 8 track tape out the window.
Man, talk about wearing it out. Man.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
so
awesome.
that's the
Okay, so this
story.
goes way back.
This goes way back. And
So
then after I got to Lobby, I heard Joan Jett, and that's a totally different story for another different episode.
we'll get
But
to that one.
but yeah, but I didn't know what it was talking about for years. For years. I mean, obviously I didn't understand the lyrics, but I enjoyed the music and the guitar and the elements of the song itself, right?
Mhm.
But I didn't know what the words were. I didn't know what the words meant until later on. And
Mhm.
as it turns out, it's a very profound song.
Yeah. What
So,
was that like? What age do you think you were when you kind of had that appreciation for
well,
the actual meaning?
like what happens is that you hear something, like you hear a song, you read a book or something when you're younger, 5, 6, 7 or whatever, and then you forget about it for years, right? You forget about it forever, right? And then it comes up again and you hear it again, and you're like, wait a second, I remember that, right? But
Mhm.
there's a time where you forget about it. You don't think about it anymore. You forget about it, you know? And that time, I don't know. I don't know, maybe 10, 12, 13, where
Mhm.
someone played it somewhere and I was like, wait a second, I remember that song, you know?
Yeah.
And but yeah, but I remembered the name Kenny Rogers. I didn't know what the song was called. I didn't know anything like that. So
Mhm. What
there
does
you
it
go.
mean to you today?
Oh man, it's a powerful song. Overall, it's a very powerful song, right?
Mhm.
Like it's The Gambler, you
Yeah.
know? It's a powerful song. It's an anthem, if you will, to how you think and mentors, and we'll get into that more into the lyrics here when we go over the lyrics.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's profound. Tell us
As
some
you
facts,
said, it's
Courtney.
such a classic song. Well, yeah, and I just wanna just thank you for suggesting this. I'd heard it before, but I hadn't really sat and appreciated it as an adult. And let's just say Ricardo didn't suggest this song today. We didn't come up with this one this morning. But when you sent it to me the next few days, it was crazy as far as what the lyrics are talking about for me and the meaning. And so it was just really ironic how you send it to me, listen to it. I was going to, I want a few days to get to know the song if I'm not already familiar with it, right? Because of this project. And so I thank you for this suggestion very much because it might be a new appreciation I have for it, but whoo, sometimes you need to break it down and we'll get to the lyrics here in a second. But okay,
Yeah.
let's see some facts. So, The Gambler was written by the Nashville songwriter Don Schultz. And let's see. You were breaking it down. Will you tell us a little bit about the Johnny Cash connection?
What's interesting was that this song was written in 1976 by Mr. Don Shields. And it took 2 years of shopping it around, and a Nashville singer named Bobby Bear recorded it, but it didn't really go anywhere. Then Johnny Cash recorded it.
Wow. I was surprised at that one. Yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't know that Johnny Cash recorded the song in 1978 and put it on his album Gone Girl.
Wow.
But when Kenny Rogers recorded it, that's really when it hit the mainstream.
That's crazy. Yeah. First thing he said when I got on, you guys, he was like, "Man, I didn't know this was a cover by Kenny Rogers." So very nice.
Yeah.
I did not either.
So Kenny released it in November of 1978 on the album called The Gambler. It went straight to number one, and it got him a Grammy Award for the Best Male Country Vocal Performance in 1980.
Wow. Wow. Yes. And the song spawned a franchise, mostly with the 1980 TV movie Kenny Rogers as the
Oh,
Gambler, where Rogers played the seasoned poker player Brady Hawks and Bruce Box Littner. Yeah, served as his apprentice. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So this really inspired a lot, and just kind of dosing barely in on Kenny Rogers' career. I can't say I know much more, but for 7 decades up until he died, the 7 decades before he passed away, he had a number one charted album of some kind within each decade. Seven
wow.
decades in a row, like
That's good.
so, and a lot of that was started with The Gambler. Granted, Kenny was up to some stuff in the music industry before that, but this
Um,
definitely pivoted his career to say the least.
for sure. Like him and Dolly songs are epic, right?
Hmm.
Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton. And following the death of Kenny in March of 2020, The Gambler went all the way to number one on the Billboard digital song sales.
Wow, I
So
believe
he
it.
got a good spike. Everyone's like, oh, well, I'm going to go listen to The Gambler again. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah. They even Geico, it even made it into a Geico commercial. How many songs you guys have made inspired so much they get into a Geico commercial? But in 2014, yeah, there do you remember that? There was a commercial and basically they were sitting around playing poker with Kenny Rogers and it was funny. Funny.
So
It was good.
let's compliment
Yes.
that. How many songs made it into a Geico commercial and were also selected and were also selected for preservation in the National Recording Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, and artistically significant.
I wonder if there's more than one.
That's powerful.
That is
Geico and
amazing.
the National Recording
Yeah,
Registry. Hello.
welcome to 2020. Yeah, in the world, well, he ruled long before that, but yeah, that's pretty amazing.
All right, Courtney, let's get to it. Let's break it down. All right,
Yes.
I'll,
Okay.
I'll start. I'll start.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, please
ready?
do.
Here we go. The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. The breakdown.
Yes.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound to nowhere, I met up with the gambler. We were too tired to sleep. So we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness. The boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. Woo wee!
There's so much
I
there.
mean, come on with it. Like my mentor
Yeah.
Glenn Morshower would say, "Come on with it."
I love that.
Right?
Yeah, no, there's so much like on a train bound for nowhere. Like sometimes we don't know where we're going. And to be fair, we go without knowing what direction we're actually like gonna end up, just
Correct.
spinning our wheels. Too tired to sleep. Your soul's tired. Sometimes it's not our body. Sometimes it's our mind. But like, oh, this just speaks to me.
And then they
Okay.
began to speak. Go ahead, Courtney.
Yes. Okay. So, second verse, he said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, known what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So, if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice."
Wow. Talk about mentor and mentee. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I can see you're struggling. I can
Yeah.
see something's going on in your life. But you know what? It's going to cost you because nothing in this world is free. So I'm
Yeah.
going to need a sip of that fine whiskey you got right there, and I'm going to lay it on you and tell you what's going on in the world.
Yeah. That's a leverage. And that's also, you've been through it. So you can see it. You can see it in people.
I mean, this is coaching 101 right here,
It
isn't it?
really
I
is.
mean, this is like a song that's all about coaching, you
That's
know?
why I find it so ironic you picked this one. I'm like, as far as just you guys, it fits Ricardo's
It's all
personality.
about coaching. Like this guy's a life coach, and he's like, "But you know what? I'm gonna need a taste of that whiskey. There's a price to pay, but I can
Yeah.
see you're hurting, and I know how to fix it. I know the advice you need to hear."
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. It's that make your pitch, draw the curiosity. Okay. Okay. I'll
All
stop. We'll
right,
break it down marketing
let's go.
later. Yes.
So let's see. I'll give you some advice. Here we go. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bumped a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deadly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the Game Boy, you gotta learn to play it right." Ooh,
Oh,
damn, what?
yeah. Yeah. Just kind of speechless after.
Like, I
Man,
mean,
it
that's
just,
like coaching. That's like, hey, man, you know what? I see you're struggling, but if you're gonna be in the game, you gotta learn to play it right.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Wow.
So the chorus, we all know it. We all love it. You've got to know when to hold them. You've got to know when to fold them. You've got to know when to walk away and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal's done.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Life, life. And you think he's talking about cards. He's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's talking
Can
about
we just
life.
pause? Does any like few lines sum up just being what it means to be an adult? You have to, like there's going to be rewarding moments. There's going to be just this spectrum, and you got to read it and you
Yep.
got to pivot.
You got to know when to hold on. You got to know when to run. No, 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 not
Exactly.
just no. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to hold on to the project and keep chugging along. And you got to know when to give up. Like say, hey,
Mhm.
hold up, this ain't working too well. I got to change something here.
Yeah.
I got to take a look at something. This isn't going like I planned. And
Cut your
then
losses.
you got to know when to walk away. Like, okay, maybe I can just step back just a little bit. And then you got to
Mhm.
know when to run. Like, dude, I'm out of here. I'm done. Like, I'm done. That's it.
Burn the bridge,
Let's
go
go.
run.
We got to go. It's like, okay, I stepped back a little bit. I walked away a little bit. I'm still kind of in it, but man, I gotta know when to like just get out of here. It ain't
Yeah.
happening no more.
Yeah.
Right?
Jessie said that part's one of her favorite lines
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Take the next
Walking
verse,
away is so
Courtney.
scary though. Okay. Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. Because every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. And the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. That
Woo!
says so, there's so much depth there. So
Wow.
much.
Courtney, I'm sweating bullets here with this one.
Yeah.
Ah, because we're all gamblers. We
Yeah.
all take gambles in life. This ain't just about the poker table, right? We're
Right.
all taking gambles in life, period.
Hmm.
Yes? Right?
Yes.
Life's a gamble. If you start a business, what is that?
Yeah, that's
A
a complete
gamble.
gamble. And like just like the secret to surviving, every gambler knows. Yeah, because every like that's all we really are survivors. Like at
Correct.
our core, that's our core mission right there.
I mean, this can be applied to your business, to your relationships, to your job, to
Yeah.
friendships.
Mhm.
Mm. The secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to
What to
keep.
keep. Yes.
Wow. Because every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser.
Mhm. That's my favorite part of the entire song, I think, because it really just perspective and your approach and your attitude. Literally, like you could see a failure as being the end of the world, or you could see it as just being a wake up call to pivot you to something much more exciting or whatever, fill in the blank,
Correct. And what's the differentiator? What's gonna make it a winner? What's gonna make that hand a winner? And what's gonna make that hand a loser? Your
Me.
mindset and your
Hmm.
belief and yourself.
And the meaning I apply to it all.
Correct. Because every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's bring it back
Can I
home.
pause? I love one thing I absolutely love about this project. Like, you guys, he will get just as excited about the Beastie Boys as he will about Kenny Rogers, and that just makes my soul happy. So carry on.
All right, let's go. It gets deep, man. We're
Yep.
still kind of just scratching the surface. All right, so the gambler, done coach this guy, right? And then he says, and when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out his cigarette, and faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep.
I just got chills.
Yep.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
coach dropped some advice. He's like, "Hey man, this is life. I'm giving you the secret to success and the secret to life."
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "All right,
Done. Yeah.
that's it.
Done.
Done
And
and
how he
done."
says he broke even, like it's earlier in the song he said, and the best we can hope for is to die in our sleep. And so it just there's so much meaning here. I love
Right.
it.
And
Ugh.
give us the chorus one more time, Courtney.
You've got to know when to hold them. You've got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
Wow. Now, let me just say this. If you're actually playing poker, you definitely need to be counting your money at the table
Yeah.
and knowing how much money you have. So this is not
You need
poker
you to stay on
playing
top of that.
advice. You do have to count your money and know how many chips you have and kind of know what everyone else has, right?
Yeah.
But this is
And
life advice.
at the first time we hear the chorus, when we hear when the dealing's done, we assume after the deal, after the game, after the whatever. When we hear it now, after the gambler died, when the dealing's done, it's
Mm,
death. I just realized that. Wow.
yeah, it's deep,
Whew.
man. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them.
Yeah.
Is there a project that you're holding on to that you still got to hold on to and still try harder? Maybe change something in this project that you're working on, or maybe it's time to lay it down and try something different, or maybe just tweaking the project.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just being so hard and like, okay, this is a winner. This is a winner that you don't see the whole truth and you have a blind spot because you just believe in it and you're like, no, it's perfect just the way it is. Now take a look at those cards
Yeah.
because
You can polish it
every
up
hand's a
some more.
winner and every hand's a loser, right?
Yeah.
But you got to take a look and be like, hold on, let me take a look here. Let me analyze and
Mhm.
see what these cards that I'm holding on to for dear life really have to say.
Yeah.
And do I have to fold them away or do I hold them?
Yeah.
Wow,
We can only play the cards we're dealt.
we
So
can.
such
I'm
wisdom.
exhausted, Courtney. This
Yeah.
one, this one
I
took a lot out of me.
I don't know what else to say, you guys. Go listen to the song. It's phenomenal. You'll have it on repeat for days.
For
The first
sure,
day I listened to it, I probably listened to it like 10 times in a row. I was
for
like, yeah.
sure. And Jesse says, "Life's a gamble." So true.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
wow.
if you're not betting on yourself, what are you doing?
Ooh.
Man.
Ooh. Ooh. You got to bet on yourself. Why? Because
Yeah.
every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Yep.
about your mindset, guys.
It is. It is. I love that. Good chat, Ricardo.
This
Thank
was
you for this
great. This
one.
was really
Yes.
good. This was
Yeah.
good. All right, guys. We'll be back next week on Friday for another recording of the Power of Music podcast coming soon to the Force
Yeah.
for Growth Network. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember to follow and like us on forceforgrowth.com and
At Force for Growth. And always remember to be a force for good
a Force for Growth.
and a force for greatness.
Bye.
Thank you.